So in today's video, I wanted to talk about this beautiful guitar that you might have noticed is a new guitar for me in some of my more recent videos. And I want to tell you a little bit about the story behind it and what it is. So this is a new to me. I bought it used. It is a Fender Player Telecaster in Butterscotch Blonde. According to Reverb, this was the best-selling guitar of like the last 2 years. So it's not unique, but I love it. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the story and why. But first, I'm trying out something new. Here's a little bit of me playing the guitar so that you can hear what it sounds like. If you're a returning viewer here, let me know what you thought of that. Do you want to see more clips of me noodling in the middle of it? You know, do you like some fresh noodles while you're watching my video, you know, while making dinner or in the bathroom? If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you skipped ahead, fair enough. But just curious, if it's something you'd like to see more of, I'm happy to do it. But anyways, let's talk about this wonderful guitar that I purchased. And yeah, I bought it back in November. It was a Black Friday sale at, here in Canada, our equivalent of like a Guitar Center, or the ubiquitous big music store is called Long & McQuaid. And I got an email that they were having a Black Friday sale and each store has like its own used section. And I saw this for the low price of, I think it was like, I want to say it was 454 Canadian dollars. Maybe it was 554. Something like that. In the ballpark of 350 US dollars, since that's a more referenceable currency. And I told my fiance, I'm going to go check out this guitar, and if I like it, I'm going to buy it, because that's a great price. So I went, I checked it out. There's 2 or 3 kind of little dings. There's one on the butt there. I don't know if that'll show up. And then there's one up here. But in terms of condition, you know, there's no big dings. The frets, honestly, it's like it's never been played. I looked it up. It's 2022, so it's a little bit old, but it was sitting there used, and I plugged it in through a Princeton, and it really clicked all of these different things for me that I've been looking for in a guitar. So those of you who've been watching my videos for a while probably know me for playing Blue Partscaster Strat, and then this has been my main instrument for probably about the last 5 years. It's a beautiful Kinnell archtop, handmade by Mike Kinnell in Vancouver, BC. And it's a beautiful guitar, but there was something I was finding in what I was looking for in the sound. Again, the music that I play most of the time is jazz and improvised music, so I'm usually playing with a nice clean sound on the neck pickup. And there was something I was finding with humbuckers, particularly in the pick attack and the overall way that the note blooms, that I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of. There's this kind of woofy thunk that happens. And really what I'm chasing a lot of the time when I'm playing the guitar is I want the responsiveness and the kind of frequencies that are typically present on an acoustic guitar. And I had a couple thoughts about this where I was thinking single coil pickups naturally have a little bit more high end in them. And the other theory is that in an electric guitar, the hollow body is a wonderful idea, but having a solid wood platform to go off of leads to less interference with the strings, if that makes any sense. So like in particular, my Kinnell, again, it's a beautiful guitar, but the higher up the neck I go, the more extreme it gets. I don't know why. It's something to do with there being more natural imperfections in the wood and in the structural construction of it, where higher up above, say, the 12th fret, it really, really barks. And that was one of the things I checked out when I was in the store playing through a beautiful Princeton Reverb, is that this chord here sounded just as full and rich up here without a huge volume shift, which I was a really, really big fan of. And coming into it, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the neck. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the frets. I wasn't sure about how I was going to feel about anything. But I sat there and I played it for about 20 minutes. And I decided, yep, this guitar's coming home with me because it was doing the things that I wanted it to do. Now, I thought about making a video when I got this way back in November, but I wanted to wait until I'd, had some time to really spend with it. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I actually love it so much that I bought another one of the exact same model and the exact same finish that lives over on the west coast of Canada with my family, where I go back for holidays frequently. And so when I gig out there, I will have the same guitar here. So is the guitar so nice, I bought it twice. And it really is just a great Telecaster. And the second half of this video that I wanted to talk about is just the overall value of buying, nicer guitars. Because this is not a remarkable instrument in any means. It's the cheapest kind of real Fender you can get. However, this is, I would argue, where the law of diminishing returns starts kicking in with guitar purchases. I'm not saying that there is not justifiable reasons that the Fender Ultra Series costs like 3 times as much as this guy. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy an American-made Fender if you really love what comes with it. But the thing that I've been finding over and over again is that this is 100% what I want a Telecaster to do. So anything that you need a Telecaster to do, this is a perfect instrument for it. The neck, I thought I was going to be kind of put off by how thin it is, but it's super comfortable. The finish on the back of it, not bad at all. Some people always say like they would change out the tuners for locking tuners. I've gotten in a little bit of hot water on this channel, but again, I don't think locking tuners actually really add that much value. If it's something that you want to do and you like the easier string changes, by all means go for it, but it's not something that I would ever feel the need to do. So these stock Fender tuners are doing their job. And the other thing that's been blowing me away actually is the pickups. I went into this purchase knowing that, if I needed to upgrade the pickups down the line, I wouldn't have to cry about it because it's a relatively inexpensive guitar, and pickups would be a justified change. But the more I play these, the neck pickup is warm, thick, and responsive. It does everything I want it to do. The bridge pickup honks. And there's really just no need for me to change them, is what I've found. I'm not saying that I might not get curious down the line and I might change them, but a lot of people I've seen online complain about the Player Series pickups. And again, I think this is a really beautiful all-around guitar, and that anything that a Telecaster can do, this guitar can do, which makes sense because it's a Telecaster. But I've been really blown away by it. So like spec-wise, there's nothing super impressive about it. It's a maple neck. It's got an alder body. It's 3 pieces. You can see a little bit of the wood grain through the front, which is nice. The controls work like you would expect them to, and it just sounds great. And it's been a really interesting kind of journey for me because, again, the guitar that I played the most before this cost almost $5,000, and now I'm playing one that I picked up for around $500, and this is my main instrument right now. I've gigged on it, I've played it in rehearsals. This is kind of what's feeling like home, and it's not to say that I'm not gonna find something else down the line. We're all guilty of N+1 and looking at potential extra things that we can do, but I just wanted to make a video about how much I love this guitar and show you kind of what it plays and sounds like. So speaking of that, in that video, earlier in the video, I was playing through a hot tone amp modeler, and I was using, it's basically a Fender Champ, Fender Champ Deluxe, whatever it is. And the rhythm parts were recorded just clean, and then the distorted parts, whereas it kind of on the edge of breakup, the lead part over that. And just to give you a demo, again, in this kind of setting, the neck pickup sounds super full and warm, while also having all of this bright, shimmery content to it, so. Single notes. Love it. The middle position does the Fender middle position kind of funky, thunky thing. And the bridge pickup does all of your typical. It even if you want to get crazy, you can throw it into angry distorted mode and get a lot of good but that's maybe for another video. Anyways, this has all just been me talking about how much I love this beautiful nature of the Telecaster. I love this new to me guitar. Let me know if you've had any playing experience with the Player series. Again, I think with Mexican-made Fenders, it doesn't really matter to me whether my guitar was assembled by John or by Juan. And when buying a Mexican Fender, again, I've actually worked in a guitar store and unboxed literally hundreds of made in Mexico Fenders and made in America Fenders. What I will say is that the American Fenders tends to come with better setups, and they're a little bit more there's a higher kind of approval rating for those. But if you find a Mexican made Fender and you play it and it's great, and maybe it needs a little tweak of the setup, like for me, I play really, really thick strings, so I have to adjust pretty much every guitar that I get. I play 12s in standard tuning on all of my guitars, so I always need to adjust the truss rod and the saddle height and everything. I did file the nut slots so that they'd be a little bit lower, but again, that's something that you have to do on most guitars, because most guitar companies will err on the side of caution, and they'd rather send you a guitar with a little bit higher action than you need, and then you can lower it, than the other way around. But if you can find and play a Mexican Fender, try it, see what happens. Because honestly, I've played every American every American Tele that's come out since, how long did I work at the music store? Probably like 2018 to 2020. And there were some Mexicans that played better than the Americans, and there were some Americans that played better than the Mexicans. It really doesn't matter. But I just wanted to make this video because it's been a fun experience for me seeing what a reasonably priced guitar rather than a custom handmade luthier instrument can do. And again, I'm just really loving this thing and enjoying the sound. So you'll be seeing a ton more of this great guitar on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out more than you could know. If you want to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you with whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you wanted another way to support the channel, I've linked to my Patreon down below. All of my patrons get behind the scenes access to things that I'm doing and working on. They get my videos in advance, and it's just a great little community of guitar lovers, so I'd love to see you over there. If you're looking for a different way to support me and support the channel, I do have an ebook and a video course available for purchase, linked down in the description as well. It's a great way to get some more in-depth educational content from me than I can share in, a 10-15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I wish you all a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.